What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our player ratings video here on Anfield Agenda. Today we have a little bit of a fresh twist to the video. Instead of it just being my player ratings, we've also calibrated your scores. We put out a Google form into the chat during the watch along. You guys were able to upload your player rating scores, and they're going to appear in the top right hand corner, and mine of course in the usual place in the big box in the middle. If you would like to take part in the future, just keep an eye out for the form in our watch alongs. You'll see it pinned to the top of the chat, and you can add your player ratings in, and we'll make this a feature moving forward. That and lots more is going to come up over the next few minutes, but before we do, got to just remind you that we are being brought to you today with thanks to our incredible sponsors, Manscaped. You can get yourself 20% off and free shipping store-wide at manscaped.com by using the code that you can see there on the screen, Anfield20. Whether it's the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, the Lawnmower 5.0, the Weed Whacker Era Nose Hair Trimmer, or anything else that you would like at manscaped.com, we've got you covered with 20% off and free shipping, even if the items are already on sale, with our code Anfield20. And just a reminder as well, we are going to be live in Liverpool November the 15th at the Hot Water Comedy Club. If you'd like to come along and see us, you can get your ticket for the all ages event with a link in the description of this video. Right, enough from me, let's get into the scores, and we'll start off with Caoimhín Kelleher. Now, I haven't seen the Anfield Agenda audience scores yet, so obviously I know my scores, but we're going to be going through these one by one. Your scores, top right corner, my score, big box. Big box, there's a joke there somewhere. So let's start off with Caoimhín Kelleher. I thought he had a really good game today again. Nothing he could do about their goal. It was certainly no fault of his. I thought he did everything asked of him. So I've given him a score of 9, and you guys have given him a score of 8. So a slight difference there. Next up is Mr. Conor Bradley. And look, I don't think this was his best appearance in a Liverpool shirt by any stretch of the imagination. I do want to caveat it by saying any of the low scores I give today are likely for players who haven't really got into a rhythm yet and have been asked to come in and play a game when, as I said, they haven't really been playing much this season. So keep that in mind when I give you Conor Bradley's score, which is a score of 6. You guys have gone one higher this time for 7. I just think he was dispossessed on a couple of occasions, and you always get energy from Conor Bradley going forward. But I thought he was a little bit sloppy today, hence my score of 6. You guys are a bit more generous with a 7. Next up, Jarell Quansah. Now let me say this categorically and clearly, he was absolutely not at fault for the goal. Just really unlucky. It was hit on him by Endo, bounced off his leg and went in. After that though, I felt him and Gomez were struggling to get into the game and get rhythm. I feel defensively we were suspect at times tonight, but it's understandable. They will both have far better games, and certainly Jarell Quansah, there's no doubts about his Liverpool future. Today, though, I'm going to give him a score of 7, and you guys have gone a little bit lower. You've given him a score of 6. Next up, Joe Gomez, today's captain, and again, I want to say, I think the score I'm about to give him and my critiquing of his performance isn't based off how good of a player he is, but again, just a lack of game time and minutes, and it was a completely changed defence tonight. So keep that in mind when you realise that I've given him a score of 6 out of 10, and you guys, a little bit more generous for Joe there, you've gone for 7 out of 10. Next up is Costas, and look, I gotta say, I'm just not really a fan of Costas. I think, yes, he always provides you energy going forward, and he does have a good delivery from set pieces and corners, but other than that, I'm never convinced that he's going to be Andy Robertson's successor. So for me, I think this is a position we could strengthen in, but today, I thought he was okay. Going to give him a score of 6, and you guys were simpatico on this one. You guys have also given Costas a score of 6 out of 10. Next up is Wataru Endo. And look, I feel disappointed for him today because obviously minutes so far have been at a premium for him. Very difficult to come in and play in a different system today. We played more of a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-2-4 if you want to look at it that way. And I thought that he didn't do himself any favours. That's the kindest thing I can be. I feel, and I said this many times, it's unlucky that he came in and he came in to play under Jurgen. Jurgen's moved on, a new manager has come in with a different way of playing the number 6 role, and it doesn't really lean into the attributes of Wataru Endo. He's always going to give you 100% commitment, he's always going to be a model pro, but I do feel like he will see limited game time this season, and that was reflected today in his performance. So I've given him a score of 6 out of 10. You guys a little bit more generous, you've gone for a 7. Next up, Curtis Jones. Definitely feel like he had a much better second half than he did first half. Sometimes I feel, and I think a lot of you probably agree, he can dwell on the ball a little bit too much. As the game went on, I believe he started to look better and better. Very good assist for Diogo Jota's second goal. Lovely way to pass into him. But I'm always left wanting a little bit more from Curtis. The effort is always there. The work rate is always there. The pressing is always there. But he's not going to break in to the starting 11 unless he really ups his level. So all that considered, today I'm giving him a score of 7. And you guys were exactly the same. You've also given him a score of 7 out of 10. We move on now to Diogo Jota, who was Sky's man of the match. And look, a great brace today from Diogo. 2 very different goals. The first one, a header. The second one, a fox in the box style finish. Great to see him getting back to goal scoring ways. And of course, he's about to get a high score. I've given him a score of 9. And you guys, feeling a little bit less generous, you've gone and given Diogo Jota a score of 8. Shame on you. Shame on you, folks. Come on now. We scored a brace. Definitely got to get a 9 for that. Next up is Cody Gakpo. I keep saying this, and I'm probably going to say it a lot as we go through the season. The battle between himself and Luis Diaz for the starting position on the left is one of the great headaches that Arne Slot is going to have. I thought Cody Gakpo put in a great shift there today. He was your Anfield Agenda man of the match when we did the poll by a long way, and I firmly agree with it. I thought he was brilliant today. Got himself a couple of goals as well. A little bit of fortune about the second one, but who cares? You don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle. So I've given Cody a score today of 9, and you guys, right there with me, you've also given him a score of 9 out of 10. Next up, Federico Chiesa. Unfortunate we didn't get him his goal tonight. And do you know what? I don't think he was too much involved in the game, but not through any fault of his own. I didn't like the way we played in the first half. I didn't like that Jota and Darwin were both there. I felt like the space was too congested, and we didn't see the best of Chiesa for that reason. But it is exciting times to see him at Liverpool. Got 60 minutes. The manager said he wasn't ready for 90. He wasn't lying. He took him off on the hour mark. And today, for his debut at home, we're giving him a score of 7. And guess what? You guys as well, right there, giving him a score of 7 out of 10. Next up, Darwin Núñez. Somebody who has been in for a lot of criticism recently. Mightn't have got on the score sheet today, but you know what? I think he did all right. I think his runs were very clever. He was opening up space for the other forwards. And he never stops going. Didn't get a goal. That's okay. A lot of people are going to try and, I'm sure, have a sly little dig at him. But I'm going to stand up for him today because I'm seeing signs of progress from Darwin. And I thought he was pretty decent today. So I've given him a score of 8. You guys, a little bit less so. You've gone for a 7. But good to see that he is getting relatively high scores because I thought he put in a really, really good effort today. Next up, Alexis McAllister came off the bench. Unlucky, had a strike that the keeper made a really good save to touch it onto the post. Look, you know what you get with Alexis. He's a top-notch player, never going to let you down. Would have preferred if he didn't get any minutes today, let him rest up ahead of the weekend. But the manager brought him on and he's steady as she goes as always. So we're going to give him a score of 7. And you guys, exact same, have also given him a 7. Look at him, magnificent man that he is. Mohamed Salah came off the bench today and got himself a goal, which I'm sure is relief for him, relief for us. And it was a very good finish. It came at him quickly as the ball was saved by the keeper, ricocheted back out. Mo used the side foot, lifted it into the roof of the net, and wheels away in celebration as we all bow down to the Egyptian king. So great little cameo from the bench for Mo today. I've given him a score of 8 out of 10. And so have the Anfield Agenda audience. Well played. Right, next up, Tyler Morton. Great to see him get minutes today. I actually thought he would probably have been in the starting 11 if I was being honest. And I always say the same thing. If we're going to keep Tyler or these kids around, make sure that at least they get some minutes where possible. And that's what Arne did today. He brought him off the bench. Yes, the game was secure at that point after the Alvarez red card, and Liverpool had put some daylight between the two of us. But good to see Tyler get some minutes. I've given him a score of 6. And you guys have agreed 6 from the Anfield Agenda audience as well. So, Andy Robertson, again, would have rather he didn't get onto the pitch, but the manager wanted to give him a couple of minutes, maybe keep him ticking over ahead of the trip to Wolves on Saturday evening. And it was a decent enough display from Robbo. If I'm not mistaken, he got into the box and nearly got himself a strike on goal at one point. But that being said, hard to give these guys a score when they're on for so little time. So let's give Robbo a 7. You guys gone a little bit less and gone for a 6. It is always difficult though, isn't it, to give players like that to come off the bench a score when they're only on for a short period. And lastly, and certainly by no means least, Arne Slot, the manager. It is now 7 games in to his Liverpool career as manager. 6 wins, 15 goals scored, 3 goals conceded. It's pretty much brilliant. You know, we have the blip, of course, against Nottingham Forest, but all we can ask for there is a response. And the response has been 3-1 away at Milan, 3-0 at home against Bournemouth, and even today when we went 1 goal down, nobody panicked and we ran out convincing 5-1 winners. I've been delighted to see Arne Slot's time at Liverpool get off to such a great start. I'm all in and I want him to be a success. And today, I think he got it right. He had to make the changes. It was never going to see us at our brilliant best. But that being said, 5-1 victory, hard not to be happy. So I've given him an 8 and you guys have gone a little bit higher and gone for a 9. So my friends, that concludes the Anfield Agenda player ratings after Liverpool beat West Ham by 5-1. A reminder, for the next watch along on Saturday, if you want to contribute to our player ratings, make sure that you join us in the live chat. You'll see a form at the top of it. You can click on that, fill out your scores at the end of the game, and we'll culminate them all and compare them against mine. A new addition to the post-match content, but we hope you like it. And as always, we appreciate your support. Thank you as well to our sponsors, Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping store-wide at manscaped.com with our discount code Anfield20. Put that in a checkout or scan the QR code in the bottom corner. Next up, I will be back tomorrow where I'm going to be recording with David Lynch tomorrow afternoon. So I'm going to be asking about contract updates and stuff like that. That's going to be out at about 5:30 tomorrow evening. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow night at 8:45 with the late night agenda. Until then, enjoy yourself. The Reds are into the 4th round where we take on Brighton away at the Amex. Next up, it is Wolves on Saturday at 5:30. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.